Welcome to another episode on our channel. And today we're talking about Carol Pelletier, who is portrayed by Melissa McBride in The Walking Dead. Now, I didn't really like the ThreeZero figure. Again, by the time I started collecting these figures, the prices had gone up, way up. But I didn't like the figure ThreeZero put out. But when I saw a head sculpt or a figure by Cat Toys, I thought that was a better match in my mind. And so when I saw a head sculpt emerge on one of the 1/6 scale loose distributor sites, I ended up purchasing it and then customizing her completely. And I decided to do her in browns, and I've got the weapons on her, but I put a cape on her. I thought she would look cool on a cape. So this is the image in my mind, of her. And for me, it works. I really love her character. But we'll pause now and get some close-ups from the bottom of the stand all the way up to the top of her head, do side-to-side shots, and then close-ups of her head sculpt. So we'll be right back. So I've got her in some really cool leather-looking, I think it is actually leather boots, very thin leather, and then brown pants with a matching brown cape. As we move on up, you'll start to see a drop-down holster, weapon. You can see her hands have wraparounds of the same material, the brown material. And then she's got, looks like a sheath, a blade, or a knife on the left side of her body, bedroll in the back, scarf around her neck, black shirt, a formidable weapon in her right hand, and the cape has fur on it, and this head sculpt, which I personally adored. So there you go. We'll do some close-ups, side to side, and then a deeper close-up of her head sculpt. So I wanted to give her one of these knives because I remember her having a knife like this in the series. So that just goes into her sheath. Now, part of her belly is showing, and he died. There we go. So let's just kind of go side to side. It's still showing a little bit, but you get the idea. And I think she's leaning a little too far forward. That's better. You can see the bedroll in the back. And we can see her head sculpt a bit more clearly now. Yeah. I think she's got a good look. All right, so we'll pause now and get a close-up of her head sculpt. We'll be right back. So this is the battle-damaged head sculpt from Cat Toys, which I very much liked. I was more taken with this head sculpt as compared to the ThreeZero head sculpt. So this is the one I went with. And there you go. So Carol Pelletier was portrayed by Melissa McBride in The Walking Dead. Her father was a businessman. Mother was somehow associated with the Pasadena Playhouse. 2 brothers, 1 sister, so she's one of 4 children. She is an avid coffee lover and loves the process of grinding the coffee beans and making the coffee and so forth and so forth. She's an avid photographer, not unlike Norman Reedus, who performed Daryl Dixon in The Walking Dead. She wanted to be a fashion designer and ended up being a film and commercial casting director for 10 years, 2000 to 2010. Her first shot at being an actress was in Matlock, apparently, one episode there. It wasn't like she was pursuing acting per se, but she eventually ended up in a film called The Mist and somehow rubbed shoulders with the creator of The Walking Dead, and subsequently was offered the part of Carol on The Walking Dead, and absolutely, blew that role out of the water, so to speak. She owned it. She's an avid pet lover. She has 2 cats and a dog, and it's a basset hound that she took on the care of the basset hound after a friend died, and she promised to take care of it. It's apparently named Lincoln Log, not after Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln. Just, I don't know how it was named, but it's called Lincoln Log. And she said of the experience, and I have to read it word for word because it was so profound to me, the gift you never knew that you needed. The gift that you never knew that you needed. Apparently, the dog has met a need in her life that she didn't know she needed. And who knows what about its personality has done that for her. Maybe it's a comedian, maybe it's just a dog that gives her warm cuddles, but she's got 2 cats as well. But the combo apparently is a smashing combo. She didn't really think she would get into acting, but she kind of dabbled a little bit in some of that, in the sense of with a snowstorm that took place in Georgia where she lived. She took some of the footage of actual anchors talking about the storm and then interviewing people, and then she inserted herself into the edit with the interview and said, I just wasn't prepared for the storm. I had only 1 grape in my refrigerator. So she had a sense of humor. When I read that, I thought that was cute. The thing that impressed me the most with her performance was just how believable her acting was. I mean, she went from a timid, abused wife to this powerhouse, this person who knew where she was going and how to get there, made mistakes, but still rose above the mistakes and that sort of thing. So I really adored her character, along with Daryl Dixon's character. They were my 2 favorite characters on the show. Not to say the other actors and actresses were great, they were, but these 2 were my favorite. So here is Melissa McBride, who portrayed Carol Pelletier in The Walking Dead. So we kicked off this recent edition of showing The Walking Dead figures I have in my collection with Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln. And then we moved on to Michonne Hawthorne, portrayed by Denai Guerrera. And then the 2 zombies, the one portrayed by Bashay West and Moses Mosley. And then we moved on to Daryl Dixon, portrayed by Norman Reedus. And finally, today, we talked about Carol Pelletier, portrayed by Melissa McBride. She's probably the most customized figure I've created, with an image in my head that I wanted to create. This one is heavily customized, but from a pre-existing ThreeZero figure that I wanted to try to replicate as much as possible. So this is the most customized one from my perspective. And these are completely ThreeZero figures. So anyway, I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.